Internal vulnerabilities is one we get questions on all the time, and they tend to creep up on CEOs. And I'll give you a perfect example. A little while back, I was with a CEO, and there were 4 owners to the company. He had about 45% ownership, and there were 3 others that each owned about 15%. And I had asked him, what would happen if he died unexpectedly or didn't outlive the business. And his response was a very typical one, which is, we have a buy-sell agreement. So when we looked into the buy-sell agreement, it required that the surviving partners would purchase his share within 90 days, or at least had first right of refusal on that. So, of course, the business, which was a very successful business, they were netting about $3 million a year. Which put, at our estimate, his value of the business at roughly $9 million. And they didn't have $9 million to buy him out. Oftentimes, as was the case here, if the CEO dies, the bank has the capability to pull their funding line. And so the capability for the owners, the surviving owners, to buy him out clearly wasn't there. So as I described it to him, I said, well, here's your plan. The plan is that I'll go to your surviving owners, and I'll tell them, hey, as you know, we've lost our CEO, so we're going to need you to work a lot harder and a lot longer. And those distributions that we used to do at the end of the year, we're not going to be able to do those for several years because we owe the CEO's wife now $9 million. And so he didn't like that plan. So what we were able to do is to create a buy-sell agreement, take the buy-sell agreement that they had, and provide financing for the buy-sell agreement, which ultimately cost in premiums about 0.5% of their net profits each year. But in the event that any of the owners died, it would provide instant liquidity on a tax-free basis so that the other owners, the surviving owners, could buy out the deceased owner. An interesting point to that, so that solved the entire problem. The interesting point to that is that they also had language in their buy-sell agreement in the event of death or disability. So the solution for disability required that their shares be bought out at the end of 90 days in full. And we determined, or they determined, that it unjustly rewarded one of the partners to the detriment of the other 4. The problem with disability buy-sell insurance is that it's fairly expensive. And it was going to be 4 or 5 times the cost of the insurance in the event of death. What we realized was that they had this liability only because of the language in their buy-sell agreement. The solution there was simply to change that language so that in the event of a disability, the surviving owners weren't required to buy him out in 90 days, but in this example, to make payments over a 10-year period of time. So the company comfortably could afford the cash flow. It would come close to replicating that disabled partner's income stream. And in the event that the business was sold in that period of time, he would collect whatever his unpaid balance was in full at that point in time. So there's a lot of potential solutions to internal vulnerabilities that don't require expensive solutions at all.